Hey guys, this is Callum from EnglishShooting and welcome back to the channel. A couple of important deadlines coming up in the near future. As this video goes live, you will have exactly a week to get in your responses to the Firearms Safety Consultation, aka the Offensive Weapons Bill 2.0. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there is an in-depth video on the channel already. A little box will appear for you to go and check that out and learn more, but it is imperative that as many shooters, as many gun owners, as many people pro shooting and pro gun ownership respond to this consultation to make our voice heard, to make sure that we balance the scales in terms of representation. Don't think for 1 minute that all of the antis and all of the people wanting more gun control and more restrictions will just be sat there not bothering. They will be going hammer and tong at this, putting in as many responses as possible and asking for the maximum restrictions possible. So we again need to balance things. We need to show them logical evidence and give good justification for why the majority of the proposed restrictions won't do anything, won't reduce crime, won't prevent crime. In the previous video, I did say that there was a couple of points that I did agree with, and I think on balance, it's good for us to really look at everything subjectively and not just stick our fingers in the ears and say, no, 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 no. Look at things and go, well, actually, is that going to make things safer? Is that going to potentially reduce crime or certainly reduce the wrong people getting hold of firearms? Anything that happens within the legal system that happens badly is going to reflect negatively on the community as a whole. So any cracks within our system that allows people that shouldn't get guns, if they want to go and get the guns illegally, well, you can never really stop that, but at least they're not going to use legal mechanisms, which makes us look bad as a community. However, the majority of these proposed restrictions on high muzzle energy rifles, on miniature rifle ranges, on ammunition components, and also on the use of air guns by minors will do absolutely nothing to curb gun crime and make the public safer, which is what this whole consultation is about. And the reason it's referred to as the Offensive Weapons Bill 2.0 is it's basically all the little bits that they either forgot about or weren't able to put through on the original Offensive Weapons Bill. You have until the 16th of February, so as this video is live, a week's time to get your responses in, to make your voice heard. And if you need any guidance on this, BASC have finally released some guidance and sort of model answers to these questions. I don't think their answers are 100%, but it's certainly the best guidance out there. They have access to a lot more experienced and knowledgeable people than, say, I do, and I think overall they're going to be able to give the best guidance and give the best answers to all of the questions. So I'll put a link in the description below to that if you need any help. It is a little bit of a shame. I do think BASC's recent surge and effort on this in the last couple of weeks is too little too late. They've admitted that they knew that this consultation was coming out many months before it actually did.
We had some very early indications that it was coming out, and it frankly was not any great surprise.
To wait a further 2 months after it being released to actually really get behind it, to give it a push and actually give some guidance on it, I think is just a little bit unacceptable. But hey, that's BASC for you. It is there now, and I do have to say what they have been pushing out there over the last couple of weeks has been pretty good. I just wish they'd done it a little sooner. So follow the links through to that, and please make sure you put your own responses and make sure that there is more shooters and more pro gun ownership people out there responding than the antis. Hopefully the Home Office and hopefully the government will get the message, and they will see that they're potentially going to be going down the wrong route and angering quite a lot of people. Talking of other deadlines and talking back at the original Offensive Weapons Bill, it's now only a few weeks until the deadline for surrender will pass. Anybody that currently has a Mars or lever release action rifle, if you are found in possession of that gun past the 9th of March, you will be committing a Section 5 violation. That could serve a minimum of 5 years in prison. So people may like to joke, people may like to say that they're going to have a boating accident, they're going to bury it in the back of the garden. The police are going to take an incredibly dim view of this, and you are most likely going to end up in prison being in possession of something that you don't have now full authority to be able to possess. So make sure if you are in possession of one of these rifles that you get it surrendered by the 9th of March, and also that ensures that you should get the compensation for it. Now, on the note of compensation, there has been a couple of developments. Some of you may be aware of the Paint It Pink campaign. Now, this was started by the Owners' Rights Cooperative and Mike Lindsay, and it is a peaceful, silent protest saying that you aren't happy that these guns are being taken off you, because when you look at the evidence, a Mars or a lever release have never been used in crime, and there is absolutely no evidence to suggest that criminals are even aware of these guns, never mind having an attraction to them, especially when they can go on the dark web or go through the black market to obtain full auto Uzis and Scorpions. There are much more attractive guns to criminals out there than a butchered semi-automatic rifle. But hey ho, that's where we are, and understandably, because of this lack of evidence, some owners are pretty upset. They feel they're getting the shitty end of the stick once again. So Mike Lindsay came up with the peaceful silent protest to paint these guns pink. Now, whilst this does send a message to your police saying, look, I'm complying with the law here, but I'm not happy about it. At the end of the day, it's not illegal to be unhappy about a law. It's not illegal to voice any, disgruntlement about a law. Also, what this prevents is the trophy style photos, which we are already seeing, despite the deadline not being passed. Police forces are already holding up these guns and saying what a fantastic job we are doing in keeping the public safer, even though, again, there's no evidence to suggest that. So painting it pink prevents them from parading these scary tactical looking guns to the public, and if you have a row of pink guns, it's going to make them a little bit silly if they're going, look what a good job we're doing with them. Now, this has actually caused something that I believe to be absolutely true, even though a lot of people are saying it's garbage, it's not correct, but further confirmation has led to me believing that this is 100% accurate. Someone put in a Facebook group that they were told by their local police force that firstly, by painting their gun pink, they were now going to lose any compensation for the rifle, and second of all, and most worryingly, that they were going to have their firearms certificate reviewed because they felt that the owner no longer had the maturity levels to be able to own firearms. Now, both incredibly scary, as well. Painting your gun a particular colour, you might have done that already. There might be people out there with pink Marses or pink lever releases, regardless of the Paint It Pink campaign. People like to use all different colours of Cerakote and personalise their rifles. Firstly, why is the colour of the rifle going to make any difference whatsoever? Now, the real reason that apparently this police force is really against this is because they wanted to use these guns for training. They wanted their firearms officers and other officers to learn from these guns. Well, again, why does it matter what colour these guns are? Maybe the pink is going to make the police officers look a little bit too fabulous on the ranges, but it's not going to affect the function, it's not going to affect any education from these rifles, and in fact, actually painting them a bright, vibrant colour may actually educate the officers that guns come in all shapes, colours and sizes. So just because a gun's pink doesn't mean it's not necessarily lethal, and doesn't mean that it's a it's not a live fire gun. So I think the training argument is just absolutely asinine. And also, if they want training material, why don't they go and buy them themselves rather than just getting them on the cheap from lawful gun owners? But the most worrying thing out of all of this was the comment of maturity. First of all, I think that painting it pink is actually quite a mature way to protest. It doesn't affect anybody, it doesn't stop streets, it's not tearing down statues or smashing in shops. It's just quite, I think, a humorous statement to make. I'm not happy about this, I'm complying with it, look at my fabulous pink rifle. Really, as protest goes, this is quite benign, and to then twist it around to say you're not mature enough is very, very worrying. That completely removes any freedom of speech. That also in some ways goes against democracy, not being able to speak up against laws. Well, how are you ever meant to get anything changed on both sides? You need to speak out against current laws to make them better, to improve them. So again, very, very worrying, and I really don't like where that is going. Mike Lindsay has actually obtained confirmation from the Home Office confirming that it's a load of bollocks about not receiving compensation on the colour of your gun. So feel free to paint it pink, you will still receive your full compensation. However, the Home Office will not confirm whether this will look badly on your firearms certificate. So again, hugely, hugely worrying. You may get paid out in full on your compensation and then later down the line get a knock from your police force to say, well, you're a mature little boy now, we need to take away your guns because you decided to paint one pink. Again, very, very scary. So take all of that information, decide yourself. I'm not going to advocate for or necessarily against it. I think you can probably guess where I stand with it, but take that information and do with it what you want. Again, there have been a number of people that have already surrendered their guns pink, and they haven't received any issues. And I've also heard a number of reports of FEOs confirming that no action will be taken if people decide to paint them pink. So it can give you a bit of balance there. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, a quick video to make you aware of two very important deadlines. Get your submissions in for the Firearms Safety Consultation, and please make sure you are surrendering any guns that are required under the Offensive Weapons Bill, or the original one, 1.0. But there we go. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, found it informative. If you have, please give it a big thumbs up, consider sharing it, and consider subscribing for any future videos. And as always, guys, I hope to see you soon.